But
So,
I actually
and
also have one question back to what the filmmaking. You also have
yeah,
made this film All India Rank, and
yeah,
that movie also kind of depicted this, what do you say, tension one has to, let's say, crack JEE, IIT, and to be
yeah,
part of
yeah.
that system. It's an
Mm-hmm.
elite system, and I would like to have one glimpse of you that why you, it's more like when I see that film, it also resonate with me of the international Olympiad training that we had it in our
Mm-hmm.
center, because it's also
Mm-hmm.
very intense, like you have to be in the top five or you want to be in
Mm-hmm.
the top five.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yeah, so it is very so for me, because growing up, IIT JEE was a big part of my life, writing the exam, cracking it, all that. I mean, we were all given that sense by the society that, uh, you'll not be successful if you don't crack this, and that is the only way to succeed in life. And so both me and my younger brother, who is, by the way, a professor of physics in
okay.
San Diego University of California, San Diego, America. So he's a professor of physics. He's in quantum physics,
Mm-hmm.
condensed matter physics, to be very specific, I think. And so both of us were very much into physics and maths. We both loved these subjects. And I loved maths more than physics. He loved physics more than maths.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so we had that part of our childhood where we saw, okay, there are some kids who are interested, genuinely interested in physics and maths, but there were so many of them who were not,
Yeah.
and they were just thrown into this machine by their parents or by society, and there was so much pressure. So I wanted to do something about that part of my childhood and talk about that pressure kids are, faced with, and the lack of choice. Sometimes, there may be kids. I mean, I had friends who were more interested in history or other subjects, but they were not given the choice. So I thought, okay, I'll make something about that. And that's why the film also is set in 1997, 98, exactly the year I went to, I was in standard 12th at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year when you start preparing and you start worrying about your future in this world.
Yeah.
So it was part of that. So that's why I made that film. And thank you for watching it and liking it.
It is really one of the best movie, and we have also screened it at HBCSE. Actually,
Oh, oh,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, all of us are like educators, and we really try to understand the scenario in a more similar way that we have like also faced in our life. So
Yeah,
thank you
I
for
think
making
my younger brother's batchmate is there, Ankush.
Ankush
Ankush,
Gupta.
yeah, Gupta, Ankush Gupta.
Yeah, the in chemistry, I think,
Yes,
Yes,
right?
yes.
chemistry Olympiad. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's my younger brother's best friend from IIT Kanpur, and they still, I mean, they're really close, and so I know, I mean, Ankush, I've met him a few times in Bombay. And,
Ah, nice. Okay, we didn't know that.
You would have
yeah,
got Ankush here.
yeah,
Any, but this is a very important topic. Like, you have said your movie in 97, 98, when you or
yeah,
me, we were in school. And
yeah.
now the situation actually has gone much worse. So
Hmm.
we should definitely keep talking about, yes, Olympiad is celebration of excellence, but also
Hmm.
it is celebration of science. It is not about
Hmm.
who gets what medal. What is more
Yeah.
important is you
Hmm.
to learn something interesting about science, and second,
Hmm.
the friends you make.
Hmm.
IIT में, as you just mentioned कि IIT कानपुर में 4 साल बिताए, you may not
Hmm.
remember everything which was taught in courses, but friendship you would have made in those days, they would stay with you
Yeah.
for much longer.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct. Yeah, and that's amazing. So yeah, that brings me to, I think, probably the last question. If I'm forgetting anything else, I don't know. But generally, how important is astrophysics in today's times in tackling the major problems of the world, which are, the climate crisis, the biggest problem I think which science is trying to tackle, and there are so many obstacles because people generally don't have that scientific temperament. So broadly, how important is astrophysics in improving the scientific temperament of the common public? And second, how it is going to be helpful in tackling something like climate crisis?
So I will first talk about scientific temperament because this is a subject which is close to my heart. Uh,
Yeah.
Professor Narlikar, who passed away last month, he used to give this one example which I really like. When
Mm-hmm.
you teach astronomy to school students, you talk about how far the planets are and distances. What we should also talk about how that connects to gravitation. You have to realize कि वो planet इतना दूर है, how that planet
Mm-hmm.
can affect your what you're doing on Earth. So use
Mm-hmm.
that knowledge about astronomy to debunk astrology. Like
Correct.
I saw him in one program talking like this कि वो गुरु वहाँ दूर है, वहाँ से
Mm-hmm.
उसको अर्थ दिखेगी, वो एक डॉट दिखेगा, वो
Mm-hmm.
डॉट के अंदर एक और छोटा डॉट होगा जो इंडिया होगा, उसके अंदर छोटा डॉट होगा वो मुंबई होगा, उसके अंदर छोटा डॉट होगा वो ये इंस्टीट्यूट होगा, एंड फिर वहाँ पे ये इंस्टीट्यूट में दो लोग बैठे बाजू बाजू में और देन गुरु सोचेगा कि इसका बजट अलग है, मेरा बजट अलग है, अभी इनके ऊपर अलग अलग कुछ तो फोर्स एक्ट कराना है. So how absurd this thing is.
Amazing. Yeah. Great example. Yes.
So this kind of discussion should happen in science classrooms in schools. That is how astronomy should be
Yeah.
used. That is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most important part. Now, climate crisis
Yeah.
and issues similar and around that, astronomy teaches us that the whole world is one family. We all see the same sky. We if there is some globe event of astronomical scale, some asteroid is coming towards Earth, it is going to affect every country in same way. So all the problems of world, everybody has to come together and act together. That is the message astronomy gives.
Lovely. बहुत बढ़िया. Yeah. I remember very strange example, but Dr. Stephen Hawking, when he came to India once in Delhi, and there was this conference, and lots of people showed up, I think at India Habitat Center or somewhere, but someone in the audience stood up and said कि मेरा बच्चा ठीक से पढ़ता नहीं है, उसको कौन सा अंगूठी पहनाना है. And
Yes, I
it
think,
was
yeah.
people confuse astronomy with astrology a lot in India. People just think astrology है वो ये बताएंगे कौन से ग्रह में कौन सा असर हो रहा है हमारे ऊपर, which is just bizarre. But yeah. So and about climate crisis.
So climate crisis, many people, less people in India, but more people in Western countries which don't believe it is man-made. But astronomical information, so usually they use the argument that Earth is heating up because sun कुछ तो कर रहा है. पहले सन थोड़ा ठंडा था, अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा गर्म हो रहा है, इसलिए अर्थ भी गर्म हो रहा है. So then we can use the actual data from the astronomy to show that the changes in earth temperature are not really caused by the changes in sun, because changes in sun are very minor and they are periodic. So वो हर 11 साल में थोड़ा सा उसका इंटेंसिटी कम ज़्यादा होता है, उससे ये अर्थ के टेम्परेचर में ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. जो फर्क पड़ रहा है वो हमारे वजह से हो रहा है. We have to worry about the rising sea levels. We have to also worry about losing the natural beauty of night sky. हम सब जगह भी इतने लाइट लगा देते हैं, so we can't even enjoy the night sky. So there are many problems around the world where astronomy can do a role of reaching out and doing education for masses. You get them together to talk about astronomy, but when you bring them together, you talk about all these issues as well.
Yes.
So, like practically everything you see around you, which is somewhat in modern digital era or modern technology era, it boils down to World War II and space race. So everything like your internet, the digital camera, computer, mobile phone, it has its roots in astronomy, in space research. So if uh, when they started those research, nobody knew, oh, 20 years later we will have Instagram on our phone and we could do this. But like from water purifier at in your home to high speed internet, all this is because some different research in astronomy and space was carried away for perhaps for purely academic reason, but engineers and scientists collectively, help made human life better in such a way that common people don't have to worry about the physics and working of that. They can simply use it. But maybe along the way, the communication of how these things are important and how these things work was had some segregation. Only academicians know their importance. The common public don't know their importance, and that segregation maybe grew, and that's the reason that we have vaccine deniers, climate change deniers. But I think astronomy and many other scientists can start filling that gap again.
Okay, okay, yeah. Uh, so coming back to IOA. So once, let's say you said 5 students are selected from India, from every country. So what is their routine? What do they do? What do they get to do once they are selected? And how long this whole engagement is for them?
Okay. So the format of the Olympiad is like this. Every country sends the team to the host city. The air tickets are paid by the respective teams. But once they reach to the host city, it is host city's responsibility to host them for 10 days. So they don't pay anything for the food or accommodation. After they land, the students are put in different location, and leaders, their mentors, coaches, they are put in different location. The students have to appear for different rounds of exams. At the end of that, there will be totaling of all the scores, and then they will decide who gets what medal. And other day, when the days when they don't have exam, they have some excursions, or they just play in the location where they are staying, and so those kind of things. But the coaches, they have to do the more double the work. Why? Because before every round of examination, the coaches will see the question paper. They will read through. They will say that, okay, this question is appropriate. Here wording is ambiguous. They will suggest changes. All the discussion will happen. And then many countries, they will also translate the paper in their language. So for example, if the students from China, they may not be very proficient in English. So they will translate it in Chinese. And the questions are designed in such a way that उनका solution is mostly in terms of numbers and equations. So वो जो आंसर लिखेंगे वो पढ़ने में आसानी होगा. So after the each of the exam, the question papers are brought back, the answer sheets are brought back, and then we make one copy of the answer sheet. Originals are graded by the host country, and copy is graded by the their own team leaders, and then they cross check if the marks agree with each other or not. ये सब होने के बाद you decide the total scores, and about top 10% get gold medals, another 15% get silver medals, another 25% get bronze medals, and so on.
Okay, got it. But yeah, how long is the whole engagement? How
About
many
10
days?
And there are like 4 to 5 hours of continuous exam, like one exam 4 to 5 hours, and then 4 or 5 such exams which cover different aspects of astronomy theory, real data, night sky observation, telescopes.
Okay. So, and then to, I think, end it with what are the specifics for this year? What are the dates and all, so that anyone who is watching will get to know the details for this year, and it's happening in Mumbai, right?
This year, IOA is happening in Mumbai.
Yes.
We got support from various government ministries for that.
Yeah.
Mainly, it is Department of Atomic Energy, which is our parent ministry, but
Mm-hmm.
we are also getting support in terms of the help for visas and things like from External Affairs Ministry, and also the Prime Minister's
Mm-hmm.
office is also involved in that. So
Mm-hmm.
the opening ceremony of the event will be on 12th August, and the closing
Okay.
ceremony will be on 21st August.
Okay.
All these events
And
are happening in
this, how
Mumbai.
many countries are participating? How many countries?
So we have 64 countries this time, which is the
Oh,
biggest ever
oh.
event IOA so far. Just to give a
Mm.
comparison, last year the number was 53 countries. So
Okay.
we have a big
So
jump this year.
64 countries.
64 from
Yeah.
all
So
six
it's a
continents.
five students from every country,
Yes.
basically, which is
Some countries will bring
roughly
less than 5
320.
depending on the funding situation, but
Okay.
most of the teams are bringing five students.
But also,
300 plus students.
Yes.
if I know correctly, it's also Africa participating for the first time in this
Yes.
IOA.
We
So
have
we also
teams
like
from Ethiopia,
almost all countries.
Algeria, Ghana.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Amazing. So they'll be in Bombay, and so they'll also get to see Bombay.
Yes,
Like
we
the
will
students,
organize
they'll
some
get to.
excursions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when you are moving in large groups, there are few only limited number of things you can do in Mumbai, because if you take them
Yeah.
to walk around, it's so crowded that you cannot manage 200 people walking around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we will have
And
to.
they'll be
We have
staying in campus.
no, not in campus. Such a large group, we don't. We are not equipped to handle something like this in the campus. So
Mm-hmm.
we are arranging their accommodation in some hotels,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
they will be staying there.
Okay.
But they will
Okay.
have no
Wonderful.
internet. They will be practically disconnected from the world. Only by
Ah. Okay.
because
Okay.
otherwise
That's.
examination can be late because coaches will know what the questions are.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Amazing. Okay.
so
Lovely talking, I think. So
can we
you
have
have one more question?
2 3 questions for you,
Yeah.
like you to answer?
Huh.
So
Huh.
your story related to astronomy, like something that fascinated you, some news you heard, or some event, something that is close to you related to astronomy.
Like a lot of, I think, lot of students in the 90s, growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, I was fascinated by A Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking's book. And that was the first introduction to this fascinating world or universe around us, and how time works, and how, it was such a beautifully written book that I was in, probably when I picked it up, I was in standard 11th, maybe at that time. And for anyone who is into physics and maths, and to get a easy reading, like layman language book about so many mysteries of the universe, was like a boon. And both me and my younger brother, we became big fans of not just Mr. Hawking, but then the other writers in that space, like Roger Penrose was there, so we picked up his books. Then there were a couple of books which I now don't know if they were really fully scientific or not, but Fritjof Capra had a book, I think the Tao of Physics, I think it was called, or
Yes.
so there were some books which were slightly, I would say slightly, I don't know, not fully scientific, or at least at that time they were scientific, and then later proved to be pseudo-scientific kind of a thing. But there were these books which were into, and then similarly there were other books at that time which were just children's knowledge bank used to come. There was a series which was just about various fascinating worlds in the universe. Uh, so we started, both me and my younger brother, we kind of got involved into that kind of reading. And because again in those times it was much easier to observe the sky with the naked eye, because the pollution levels were much low. We were in Lucknow. The power cuts used to happen a lot, which
Yes.
allowed us time to go to the terrace and lie down all night. We were just looking at the skies, and summer skies mostly, it was clear, there was no cloud, nothing. And we would find at least the basic constellations, and trace them with our fingers. So there was that connection always with the universe and with the mysteries of the universe. And that was my introduction. And then slowly I went to do my civil engineering. So civil engineering doesn't have that much of a direct connection, but my brother, he was doing mechanical engineering in IIT Kanpur. He was still more connected to physics in that way, though again not astrophysics, but he kept reading and he kept sharing books with me, like books which are which were according to him like very good and should be read by anyone. So there was that connection, and then later when I became a writer, a full-time writer, for me, science fiction films are still my favorite genre of films. I watch a lot of science fiction, and a lot of them are really well done. As you said, they have experts, so they make it look very authentic. They have their science correct. They have their the basic predictions of the future very correct, and that's why it's also scary. Recently, I'm watching a show called Pantheon on Netflix, and Pantheon is about the next step after artificial intelligence, which is uploaded intelligence, which is basically they will upload the brain into a cloud and then it can exist on its own without the body. I don't know how far away from that time we are, but it looks scary and it looks like very nicely done. So I read a lot of science fiction also. Ken Liu is one of my favorite writers. Ken Liu and this guy who wrote Arrival is Ted Chiang. So yeah, so Ted Chiang and Ken Liu are R.F. Kuang is another. So there are a few very good writers of science fiction. And the amazing thing is, I think most of them have an Eastern connection, which is, Japanese or Chinese and then American. So they have this balance of the two worldviews also. One is very, very cold, scientific, and another is slightly steeped in mythology or, stories. And so that connection I really like. And that's why I think I feel it's good to be a screenwriter where I can find that connection between my left brain and right brain and use my love for science also into my stories. And there was this nugget of small this thing seen in my film All India Rank,
Yeah.
because we were talking about astronomy. So there is this thing about which I read somewhere that if you there is a scientific way possible if you look at the seashells and the gaps between various lines on the seashells to find the distance of moon from Earth just by uh, measuring the distance between the lines on the seashells, which come with every high tide. So you can find the time between two high tides and then the time between two high tides, and you can find the distance to moon and all. I mean, it's all again the very. So I love these kind of things around around our universe, and it really helps me stay grounded also, because as you said, we are just that pale blue dot by Carl Sagan. We are just
Yes.
very insignificant beings on this vast universe, but also we are the only way the universe can see itself or understand itself. So we have to take that insignificance very seriously. So yeah.
Question to I think all three of you. If you were a cosmological object, which one would you want to be?
Wow. Okay. Cosmological object. Uh, uh, I I don't know. Objects which survive a long time, I feel.
So maybe like brown dwarf, there is a star in category of brown dwarf. So
Okay.
Uh-huh.
it will survive for a long time. Other things will not survive in
Ah.
universe. Brown dwarf or some.
Oh, brown dwarf. Okay. Sounds good.
And
Okay.
Aniket, what about you?
Ah, so there are a lot of interesting objects, but I would definitely like to be a star which is bright, maybe not lasting very long, but
Okay.
when it is there, it is giving a lot of light to all the surrounding.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay. Like, do you have a specific
Yeah.
name or this thing in
Yes.
mind?
So the stars, orange is a star called Rigel, which is a
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
blue star, very bright star, much brighter than
Mm-hmm.
sun, like few thousand times brighter than, tens of thousands of times brighter than sun.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Amazing.
I would like to be black hole.
Oh,
Yes.
black hole.
तो
Wow. Okay.
जिंदगी
Why?
जिंदगी के साथ भी जिंदगी के बाद भी है.
Zindagi ke baad bhi, and like there is no end to it. It's all. I think it's also like um, go with my personality.
Great object to be to. Uh, I mean, it's an object. Probably black hole is the only cosmological object to have the maximum number of Nobels, I would
Yeah,
say.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
So,
So,
बहुत सारे Nobel Prize तो
right,
black hole को ही मिले हैं. Yeah.
right.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a wrap, and thanks for joining us. And please stay tuned for more updates related to IOAA 2025.